Hey everyone, I'm Shannon from the LineStar YouTube channel, and if you're someone who loves player prop bets and putting together those pick'em entries, this video is for you. From the makers of the LineStar app comes a new app called the Props Optimizer that will help you find the best value in the prop market, and the best part of all of this is it's totally free, so download it today. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the app, showing you all the different features that our engineers have been hard at work at. We are so excited to unveil this just in time for March Madness, so let's take a look. Opening up the Props Optimizer, I do want to note that I will be using the premium subscription version of the Props Optimizer. If you'd like to upgrade to that for $9.99 a month, you'll get an ad-free, faster experience, or you can still use it completely free. Just note that you will experience a couple ads here and there, but if you want that premium service, you can just go to Settings and Manage Subscription. Taking a look at the Props Optimizer, we're going to start off by going through all of the different things that you can sort the player prop bets by. And in that top left, as you can see, it's currently on consensus odds. But let's start off and list all the different categories. Now, there's a lot of categories. I'm going to write up a description of each and list that in the notes for this video. If you'd like to refer back to that, you can, because there are quite a few ways to sort your player prop bets on any given day, but it's super important and helpful, so I'll list that in the description. Projection is basically just what the Props Optimizer algorithm projects a player will get of a certain stat category. For example, as you can see, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what the PrizePicks line is 54.5 for those fantasy points. Our projection is going to say it's 61.1, so that will be how it is sorted. The next below that is consensus. That's an average of other industry leaders and their respective projections. So you can also sort by that. Below that is going to be last game and how a player has done the last game. For example, in that PrizePicks fantasy points category with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if we sort by that last game, you can see he had 71.5 points. Below that, you can track last 5 or last 10 hit percentage. That's basically the percentage of how many times a player has gone over or under that particular stat line over the last, 5 or 10 games. And so we can take a look at that, and Peyton Pritchard pops up 4.5 assists. He has gone under that each of the last 5 games, or 100% of the time. So that's a different way. Also, I do want to point out the little arrow. If you can go ascending or descending order. In order to change that little arrow and make it go the other way, you just click on it again and it will go in the other direction. You can go season as well, season hit percentage, if a certain player has gone over or under, and you may want to sort by how they've done over the course of the entire season as opposed to just the last 10 games. Last 5 average, that's going to be what a player is averaging in a particular stat category over the last 5 games and over the last 10 games. So you can see Nikola Jokic in that red font there, last 10 average is 59.6. So it's a great way to look at what the line is and what a player is averaging in the recent history. Below the last 10 average, you're going to notice edge difference. This is comparing the difference between our props optimizer projection versus what that player prop bet line is at. So it's a really helpful tool, and we're going to sort by that. You can see here, I'm sorting by the edge difference. You can see in that green font, it says edge difference 10.1 for Mark Williams. That means our projection is 10.1 points higher than what the line is available right now on Underdog. So it's a great way to sort the player prop bets and really find some value. Now, edge percentage is also helpful, and you can sort by the percentage of the difference between our projection versus the player prop bet line. This can be helpful too, especially if you're dealing with, a lot of numbers. So sometimes what will pop up, for example, in NFL, you might be dealing with passing yards, and there might be a different numerical difference between what the projection is and what the line is. But percentage-wise, it's actually not that much. So sometimes it's better to use percentage than the actual numerical difference. Next up is consensus odds. This is what the Vegas sportsbooks are pricing player prop bets as. This can be helpful if you're using a site like Underdog or PrizePicks, where the payout is usually the same regardless of the odds. Odds can also be interpreted as sportsbooks' overall confidence or probability of a certain outcome happening. For example, if we look at what pops up for us here, we can see that Jaden McDaniels, the under is priced at minus 168 in the sportsbooks. So what the sportsbook is saying is this has a greater chance of taking place. So he's got greater odds of going under 1.5 steals tonight than, say, a player prop bet that might be listed as plus 105. If you need a refresher on how to understand odds, I will link that video below. But this is a really great tool, especially, again, if you are using sites like UNDERDOG or PrizePicks to really help you find some good value. It's basically Vegas Sportsbook's confidence is what you're sorting by with that one. Next up, you can sort by best line. And you can use this in a wide variety of different ways. However, it's basically the most beneficial line you can get a prop bet at. It's also great for odds shopping, trying to find the best bang for your buck in the different sports books. Or if you're playing on a site like UNDERDOG or PrizePicks, where generally the payout is the same regardless of the odds, you can use it to sort by what the biggest favorites of the day are, and then trying to find them on sites like PrizePicks and UNDERDOG to kind of get the best value on those pick'em sites. So that's another way to use the best line tool. Over odds is below that, and this is sports prop bets with juice essentially to the over. So Vegas is favoring the over odds, if I can sort it. There we go. So this is more likely to happen, essentially, according to Vegas sportsbooks. And you can also do under as well. And remember, if we double tap, we can get that ascending. And lastly, we have the category of watchers. This is quite simple. It's just our community and how many people are keeping tabs on a certain prop. This is sometimes popular just to see what other like-minded props optimizer users are looking at as well. We've got a very sharp community, so that can be a helpful tool to see how many people are watching a particular player prop bet. Next to that sorting tab, you can change or narrow down which sites that you want to look at. For example, if you only want to look at PrizePicks or UNDERDOG, you can select both of those. Next to that is going to be the sport selection. So if you just want to look at NBA, or if you just want to do both NBA and college basketball, you can narrow it down to those. And all the way at the right, you're going to notice the status tab. I always click available because this is what's available currently, but you can go back and look at what has been locked or removed. This can give you an indication of where a line has moved throughout the day, but we're going to click on available for that one. And of course, the date. This is a cool tool. You can go kind of back in time to see how players have done. Maybe you want to do a little theory research and go back in time. So if we go back to March 4th as an example, we can look how a player has done. And if a player prop bet is got that red outline, that means that the under has cashed in that particular example. So for Giannis, we can see he went under that. And further down below, we can see Luka Doncic has gone over that 54 PrizePicks fantasy points because that is in green. So it's a good way to look back in time, do a little historical research for yourself. But we're going to go back to March 5th for the rest of our tutorial. You can also sort by teams or games by clicking on what games you want to look at. For example, if we just wanted to look at the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against the Charlotte Hornets tonight, we could just select that particular game. Below that, of course, you can sort by the stat category. If you only want to look at player points, you can select that there in the box there. Next to the stat category, you'll notice those 3 lines with those 3 dots. We're going to click on that one. And as you can see, you can apply even more filters to the player prop bet pool for the day. And this is an area where you can kind of design your own algorithm in a little bit. So you're essentially instructing the props optimizer to look at only what you specify with these filters. For example, let's only look at players who have gone over or under their hit rate for the last 5 games 50% of the time. We'll change that for the last 10. So again, this is over under hit rate for the last 10 games. We're going to only look at ones that have exceeded 50%. And we'll apply that to the season as well. And then for edge percentage difference, I'm going to use the filter to say, I would like the percent difference between the projection and the line to be at least 5%. And we'll see what we come up with for the day. I think that tool is a really great way for you to kind of design your own algorithm and what you want to see out of the props optimizer to really find the best value in the prop market for the day. Now, if you like a certain player prop bet, you can click on the over or under, whichever you prefer, and it will save below. It's almost like a little shopping cart that it'll pop in there for you to track later. So again, you can just click over or under and it will pop up in your My Picks at the bottom. So we will click on a couple of those to give you an example. And if we click on My Picks, they show up right there for you to track throughout the night. Lastly, you also have the ability to see the certain stats that you want to see. For example, on this view right here, we're looking at Dante DiVincenzo's season hit percentage, best line, consensus, last 10. But you can change that out by going to the settings, changing stats. And let's say we only want to look at some of these ones right here. You just click on it, click on the ones that you want. If you want all of them, we can go ahead and load them all up on this and apply them. And then as you can see, all of them are going to appear in the box. If you want no stats altogether, that's fine. You just toggle that button where it says hide stats and no stats below. So it really is dependent on what you want to use. Props Optimizer is a great tool that you can really cater to how you want to use the app. If you want to do even more research into a particular player prop bet, all you have to do is click on the player prop and a player card will appear with some nice graphs showing you performance over the last 5, the last 10, and the course of the season. You can look at the projections and past performance results, how a player has done versus the line, as well as the most current odds and how they compare to other sports books. So you could really find the best price tag for your player prop across the market, as well as any recent important news, injury related or otherwise. There's a complete game log as well where you can track performance, look at their home and away splits and the matchup as well. So a one-stop shop for all your research needs with the Props Optimizer. Hopefully we can start turning in those winning entries using the Props Optimizer and trying to find the best value, but also just making sure we're placing smarter bets wherever we can. So hopefully the Props Optimizer does that just for you. And the best part of all of it is it's completely free, supported by ads. So hopefully you can take advantage of that. Download the app today in the App Store. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And do us a huge favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, say hello. We hope you like the Props Optimizer and let us know any feedback you have. We're always trying to make a better app and a better experience for our users. So let us know in the comments. Best of luck to you in all of your prop betting endeavors. We'll see you next time.